Chronological Bible in a Year, day 155. We are in Proverbs again, and there are two Proverbs I want to highlight today briefly. First, Proverbs 5. It parallels the wise and the fool, and it tells us in verse 3, "The lips of an adulteress strip honey, her speech is smoother than oil, but in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged feet. Her feet go down to death, and her steps take hold of Sheol." And we see there's this parallel where he's talking about like an adulteress, but also one who has taken you away from wisdom, from truth. It made me think of in Timothy, where Paul tells Timothy, beware of those who speak words that tickle the ears, who use what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear. Too many pastors, churches, leaders, they distort truth to maximize following. They distort glory to maximize wealth, and that is a great evil that we need to flee from. And then in chapter 6, we get a little bit more of this idea of the evils that God hates. Starting in verse 16, he says, "There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that run rapidly to evil, a false witness who declares lies, and one who spreads strife among brothers." We need to pursue wisdom and flee from the adulteress of the world, the lies, the evil, the corruption. How can we be a people who avoid these 7 things listed in chapter 6 so we can avoid the snare of the adulteress mentioned in chapter 5? The best example I can think of is found in Acts. We learn about the church of Berea who, hearing the words of the apostles, say, "Let me check my notes." And then they dove into the scripture they had, the Old Testament, and said, is what they're telling me consistent with the truth of all of Scripture? They found it was, and they followed righteously. We need to do the same as we hear things, whether it be on the news, on social media, at a coffee table, or from the pulpit. Is it consistent with the whole of Scripture? Let's be Bereans today. When you see something that tickles your ears a little bit today, rather than say, "Ooh, I like it," say, "Is it true?" Let's be a people who pursue truth and wisdom. Here's a question for us to throw in the comments today. What are some of those ear-tickling things that we hear? And what is the biblical truth? Feel free to share one in the comments. What is a ear-tickling lie, and what is the biblical truth? We'll be in the Proverbs again tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. But until then, God bless.